السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله أكبر 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 كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا. الله أكبر 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 الله أكبر. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعاني فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. Brothers and sisters, I would like to extend my and my family's greetings for this joyous occasion of Eid al-Fitr. Congratulations, brothers and sisters, for completing and observing one of Allah's most blessed months and days, the month of Ramadan. The verses I've just recited speak to us on many great lessons for our lives, for Muslims and non-Muslims alike, for the entire humanity, lessons that we are most in need of in our times. You who believe, fasting is prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those before you, so that you may be mindful of God. As Muslims, faithfuls and believers, Allah has blessed and tasked us with the responsibility of continuing and carrying on the tradition of the forefathers of Tawheed, the pure and simple monotheism, the belief in one God, attributing all praise to Him, all perfection, submitting our wills and our lives to Allah's decree, achieving by this a state of mindfulness, awareness, and higher consciousness. Most of today's trouble in our world are due to lack of mindfulness of God, which is in turn leads us to greed, which in turn leads us to imbalance and injustice. Allah teaches us in the Quran about al-mizan, the balance that must be established in our lives. Balance and harmony between all human beings. Balance and harmony between human beings and nature. Balance and harmony between earth and heavens, between man and God. Injustice and imbalance leads to economic disparities, which lead people to covet what others have, to commit crimes, to resort to immorality, to be envious of one another, and the list of vices stemming out of mindlessness and heedlessness is long. Fasting in Ramadan and outside of it, and all forms of fasting, is a school for our uneducated souls. It is a hospital for our sick hearts. It is a comfort for our troubled minds. Fasting, as our master and prophet and guide Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, is a shield, a protection and a shield against our selfishness and indulgence in our lower desires. Allah says, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ وَاسْمَعُوا وَأَطِيعُوا وأنفقوا خيرا لأنفسكم ومن يوق شح نفسه فأولئك هم المفلحون. Be mindful of God as much as you can. Hear and obey. Be charitable. It is for your own good. Those who are saved from their own selfishness, greed, self-interest, self-indulgence will be the prosperous ones. Fast for specific numbers of days. But if one of you is ill or on a journey, on other days, make the fast up. For those who can fast only with extreme difficulty, there is a way to recompense and compensate for the missed days. Feed a needy person. But if anyone does good of his own accord or her own accord, it is better for them. And fasting is better for you, if only you knew. Indeed, Ramadan is a few days, and have went by so fast. And have we not submitted to Allah's will and decree, we would have asked for more days of Ramadan, for an extension of the blessings of God, more days of fasting and charity, more days of prayers and Quran. But we hear and we obey. Indeed, fasting is better for us. If only we knew. Science has not even begun to unpack the health benefits of fasting. Not to mention the spiritual, the social, the economic positive impact of having 1.7 billion people around the globe willingly and joyfully giving up food, water, backbiting, lies, quarrels, and arguments for an entire month, and for nothing but for the sake of their Lord and their Creator. If only we knew, the world would be envious of us for the blessings of fasting. The Prophet ﷺ says in the hadith narrated in Muwatta Malik, الصيام جنة فإذا كان أحدكم صائما فلا يرفث ولا يجهل فإن امرؤ قاتله أو شاتمه فليقل إني صائم. The Prophet said, fasting is a protection for you as individuals and communities and for the entire world. So when you are fasting, do not behave obscenely or foolishly. And if anyone argues with you or abuses you, say, I am fasting, I am fasting. The Prophet ﷺ also said, من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به والجهل فليس لله حاجة أن يدع طعامه وشرابه. Whoever does not give up false statements, telling lies and backbiting, and evil deeds, and speaking bad words of others, Allah is not in need of his fasting, leaving his food and drink. Allah is not in need of our thirst and hunger, but we are in need of our fasting of all the vices and evil of ourselves. If Muslims truly fasted in this form and fashion, and if joined by their fellow human beings around the world, resources of food would be saved to feed 815 million hungry people around the world. That is not to mention people's charitable attitudes and sharing with others. If we truly fasted, brothers and sisters, in this form and fashion, arguments, fights, conflicts between individuals and nations alike, and cultural, would be put on hold for an entire month, giving us a chance to breathe and to have peace. At least for a month. And as John Lennon and Yoko Ono said, give peace a chance. Ramadan is giving peace a chance for at least 1 month, giving us a chance to taste what it means to live in peace and harmony, to feel each other's pain and hunger. Indeed, fasting is better for us if we only knew. The ayah says, it was in the month of Ramadan that the Quran was revealed as guidance for mankind. Clear messages giving guidance and distinguishing between right and wrong. The exceptional circumstances through which we have spent Ramadan this year hopefully help us cut out excessive and unnecessary social interactions with people and enable us to open up new channels of communication with God's words, the noble reading, the wise explanation, Al-Quran. Sisters and brothers, let us continue this relationship with the Quran. Let us read and recite it daily. Let us commit to learning its language and understanding its meanings. Let us raise a generation of mindful human beings, a generation of mindful children whose hearts are attached to the words of God. Maybe it will be the generation to solve the environmental crisis when they realize and actualize the meaning of the Quranic verse in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَسْجُدُ لَهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَالشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ وَالنُّجُومُ وَالْجِبَالُ وَالشَّجَرُ وَالدَّوَابُ وَكَثِيرٌ مِنَ النَّاسِ. Do you not realize, Prophet and people, that everything in heavens and earth submits itself to God? The moon, the stars, the mountains, the trees, the animals, the birds, the insects. So do many human beings to submit themselves to God. A conscious human being, a mindful human being, realize that all the creatures of God are to be honored. The environment, our earth, is to be honored. Maybe if we raise our children this way, it will be the generation that will finally, courageously confronts and abolishes racism as they mindfully read, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ ذَكَرٍ وَأُنْثَى وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلِيمٌ خَبِيرٌ. People, we created you from a single male and female, a shared parent, a shared father and mother, and a single source. We've made you into races, into tribes, into nations, into cultures, into colors. We've given you different names and different languages so that you should recognize and treat one another with honor. In God's eye, the most honored of you are the ones who are most mindful. God is all-knowing and all-aware. Maybe if we raise our children this way, they will be the generation that will solve the world hunger problems as they live by the principle of وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ لَا نُرِيدُ مِنْكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شُكُورًا. They give food to the poor, the orphan, the captive, though they love it themselves, though they need it themselves, saying, we feed you for the sake and love of God. We seek neither recompense nor thanks from you. Maybe if we raise our children that way, our world will be a better world. Indeed, Ramadan is the month of the Quran, revealed as guidance for mankind, with clear messages, giving guidance and distinguishing between right and wrong. We need a generation that can distinguish between what's right and what's wrong. Not a generation that is consumed in mindless hours of consuming video games and pop culture principles of quick success and chasing a mirage of fame. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, any one of you who is present that month should fast. Anyone who is ill or on a journey should make up for the lost days by fasting on other days. God wants ease for you, not hardship. Dear brothers and sisters, our faith is a flexible faith. Our faith is an adapting faith, one that is founded on seeking ease and avoiding hardship in every aspect in our lives. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّ الدِّينَ يُسْرٌ وَلَنْ يُشَادَّ الدِّينَ أَحَدٌ إِلَّا غَلَبَهُ فَسَدِّدُوا وَقَارِبُوا وَأَبْشِرُوا وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالْغَدْوَةِ وَالرَّوْحَةِ وَشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الدُّلْجَةِ. The Prophet said, religion is very easy, and whoever overburdens themselves, become extreme, become conservative in this religion, will not be able to continue in that way. The religion will overwhelm them. So you should not be extreme, but try to be near to perfection and receive the good tidings that you will be rewarded, and gain strength by worshipping in the mornings, in the afternoons, and during the last hours of the night. The Prophet ﷺ also said, as he sent Mu'adh and Aba Musa to Yemen, يَسِّرَا وَلَا تُعَسِّرَا وَبَشِّرَا وَلَا تُنَفِّرَا وَتَطَاوَعَا وَلَا تَخْتَلِفَا. The Prophet said to his deploys that he deployed, or convoys and representatives that he deployed to Yemen. Treat the people with ease. Do not be hard on them. Don't make their lives hard. Give them glad tidings. Don't fill them with aversion and diversion and division, and love each other, and do not differ with one another. Our religion is a religion of ease. Our religion is a religion that seeks to avoid hardship in every way and where possible. These principles of ease make it, alhamdulillah, easy for us to navigate and adapt our faith to the challenging realities of the times of Corona. Allah says He wants you to complete the prescribed period of fasting, to glorify God for having guided you, so that you may be thankful. Brothers and sisters, Allah has instructed us on this beautiful day of Eid to do the takbeers, declaring that God is greater. There is comfort in this declaration. No doubt, Islam's greatest right, prayers, is commenced by declaring that God is greater. And as the Prophet said, "Arihna biha ya Bilal," bring comfort to us, to our lives, to our souls and minds and hearts through the prayers where we declare that God is greater. Dear sisters and brothers, as we celebrate our Eid in the times of Corona, let us declare that God is greater than our fears and worries. God is greater than our anxieties of unstable present and unknown future. God is greater than our financial losses and difficulties, losses of lives and threats to our health. God is greater than the challenges in our lives, major and minor. With such an attitude, we can once more rise and overcome the difficulties, no matter how challenging they are. The Prophet ﷺ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Prophet, if my servants and worshippers ask about me, I am near. I respond to those who call me. So let them respond to me and believe in me, so that they may be guided." Finally, brothers and sisters, Ramadan is a taste of the nearness of God in our lives. For all the people out there watching me, Muslims and non, for all the suffering souls in our times, for all the immigrants away from their homes and families and loved ones, for all the refugees forced out into exiles around the globe, for all the single mothers struggling to raise their kids on their own, for all the grandparents forced to be in isolation away from the source of their joy, their grandkids, for all the doctors and nurses and healthcare workers risking their lives to save ours, for all essential workers, for all truckers delivering our food, for all shelfers keeping our shelves stocked with food, for all the people forced to stand in lines in food pantries and food banks, for all the people continuing to feed others even if they are themselves struggling and impacted by the situation, for all police officers and firefighters working to keep us safe even during a pandemic, for all library workers working hard to keep our brains engaged and intellectually fit in times of isolation and social distancing, and for all politicians working to create a better and a more just system that accommodates everyone, that protects everyone in good times and bad times. To all sinners, to all who drifted away from God, to all atheists who are led away from God, to all who are confused, to all who are lost and astray, to all who are lonely, to all who are sad, to all who are grieving, to all who is depressed, to all who is angry, to all who is lost, I say to you what my Quran says to me. God is near, so do not despair. Brothers and sisters, on my behalf and the behalf of my family behind the cameras, joining me for this joyous occasion of Eid, I want to extend our warmest greetings to every and each one in our ICCR and Islamic community of Cedar Rapids, in Cedar Rapids and Marion and Hiawatha and all the surrounding areas. We miss the hundreds of people who flock our masjid on Eid days to stand shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot, praising God and standing in unity. But we know that in every trial there is a blessing in disguise. Jazakumullahu khairan wa barakallahu feekum, and may God make your day and every day one filled with prosperity and peace and happiness. Please do not forget to bring your children between 12 and 1:30 for a drive-through Eid celebration at our beautiful mosque. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.